While the NBA trade deadline was all fun and games, we do need to talk about the Warriors' next moves, which is exactly what we're going to do here on Warriors Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Allie Barefoot, and we're going to be breaking down 4 of the top NBA buyout candidates that the Warriors can go out and get. And we're going to break down the question of even if they should go out and obtain them, if it'll make a difference for the Warriors this season. So keep in mind, all of the buyout candidates the Warriors are going to be looking at are under $12.4 million. The Warriors are actually one of several teams that can't go above the $12.4 million salary tax apron because they're already kind of pushing that payroll limit right now, and Mike Dunleavy just can't afford anymore. So the Warriors, the Clippers, the Celtics, the Suns, and the Bucks, keep in mind, all of these teams are contenders for the playoffs right now, except for the Warriors, who are 11th in the Western Conference. So they're definitely going to have to be strategic about their moves here because Warriors have the highest payroll in the NBA. They actually set an NBA record with $208.2 million on their 15-man roster payroll. So obviously, they cannot obtain anybody that's over $12 million. So take all these buyout candidates with a grain of salt. They're not going to be all-stars because the Warriors simply can't afford them. So before you go into the comments and say, Ellie, why would we get this player? Because that's all you can afford. All right, now that we've disclosed that, let's go on ahead and start with your questions in the comments. Name a player you want the Warriors to buy out. A lot of players did get shifted during the NBA trade deadline, which means they are now going to be eligible for free agency, and the Warriors will have a chance to jump on that. One quick reiteration here is that Cory Joseph was the only player moved for the Warriors, and they actually opened up a roster spot by moving him and obtaining a second-round draft pick. So while you guys are commenting that down below, keep that in mind. The Warriors do have a roster spot open, which is why I do bring up the first trade candidate, the first buyout candidate. That's going to take some time to get used to now the deadline is over, is Victor Oladipo. And I know he's been hurt for a very long time, but Oladipo was a very good ball player in 2022-23. He was averaging about 10 points per game, and he could be a very shifty wing to come and provide some depth here for the Golden State Warriors, as I do know that Victor Oladipo did just get traded, and then he got waived from the Memphis Grizzlies. So it definitely would take some time to put him into the system and try to recover and rehabilitate his knee. He's been out with a knee injury for a very long time, but injuries come and go here in the NBA. Klay Thompson came back from 2 major surgeries and is still providing stats night in, night out, which is why I do think Oladipo could be a good system for the Warriors to fit into. They're used to having to rehab some guys, get them back there out on the court, and a lot of teams may overlook Oladipo because he is injured, which is another reason why the Warriors take a little closer look at what Victor could bring the Golden State Warriors. And if they don't like Victor to the Warriors, then, well, Danilo Gallinari is the next player here on the buyout candidacy for the top targets in the NBA. It's the power forward that's definitely going to bring a little bit more oomph to the Warriors, if I will add. When you look at his stats, nothing's going to be super flashy here on the box score. 45% from the field, that's all right. 3 rebounds per game, I'll definitely take that. 7.3 points per game, absolutely coming off the bench, especially since they're playing 32 games so far this season. 35% from a three-point line really isn't that bad, but here's the kicker of why the Warriors should go out and get Gallinari is because he adds a stretch big to the Warriors' offense, which is something they do not have right now. And if anything, he adds height. 6 feet, 10 inches. He'd be one of the biggest guys on the Warriors roster right now, if not the biggest. I do think Kevon Looney's only 6'9", so this would be huge, literally, to bring Gallinari into the Warriors offense. I do think that even if he's not the best on offense, a stretch big is something the Warriors have been dying to get, and they gave away a shooting guard. You have an open roster spot. Why not step away from the small ball? However, unfortunately, Gallinari is not the best on the other side of the ball. It doesn't necessarily solve the defensive woes. While he does have a very slick three-point shot, it's not the same way on defense, which is unfortunate. I wish he was better on defense. That way he'd be the whole package. But you're going to have to take the good and the bad. That's why they're on the buyout market right now. If he was good on both sides of the ball, well, we wouldn't be talking about him. But nonetheless, I have a big question for you guys. And when I say big, I mean literally. Do you think the Warriors should go out and get a big or a guard? kind of thinking in terms of, do you want to enhance the front court or the back court for the Warriors while they do have one position open on their roster? Go on ahead and type B for big, type G for guard, and let me know where you guys are kind of at. Steve Kerr leads small ball, but I know you guys have been wanting a true big, so go on ahead and comment that down below. We have a special shout out here to Prize Picks. I'm playing it. Smitty's playing it. If you guys are wondering what the heck Prize Picks is, well, it's the #1 daily fantasy sports app in America, and it takes less than 60 seconds to help you win up to 25 times your money. All you guys have to do is pick between 2 to 6 players and just pick more or less on their projected stats, and you can win real money in real time. I know there's a lot of San Francisco 49ers fans out there watching on the Warriors Today by Chat Sports. So, of course, the big game is coming up on Sunday, so I do have Patrick Mahomes to have more than half a passing yard, which is insane. Prize Picks has this deal 99% off. They're basically begging you to win some money. Isaiah Pacheco to have more than a rushing touchdown, half of one, and Brock Purdy to have more than 245 passing yards. These are my picks for Sunday's big game. Go on ahead and make yours right now. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use promo code CLNS for a first-time deposit match up to $100 and watch yourself win some real money in real time. Once again, still looking at players under $12.4 million a year here. And, of course, Danuel House Jr. is the next player on that list. Let's go ahead and break down Danuel as a person as a whole. He's 6'6", 220. Got some size on him, not so bad. Of course, producer Smitty here would already know where his college is from. He did come from Texas A&M. And his stats this year, once again, you're looking for a player that's not that expensive. So you're going to have a 4.2 points per game player, 1.7 rebounds, not even assists per game, and 44.8% from the field. You're really not pushing anything on offense. But the reason why I point out Danuel is because he's a solid role player, which, unfortunately, no, he's probably not going to push the needle for the Warriors right now, but a solid role player to get some minutes off the bench to at least give Curry some breaks or to at least give somebody like an Andrew Wiggins time to break down. I think that would come in handy, especially as the season goes on and injuries keep plaguing the Warriors. Of course, Klay Thompson has been out. He was out last night during the game. Steph Curry has been carrying this team on his back, but he's had some injuries. Chris Paul, Gary Payton. So maybe just a little bit of injury insurance with this one. But the last one is kind of my favorite here. Richaun Holmes was traded from the Dallas Mavericks to the Washington Wizards yesterday during the NBA trade deadline. And lucky for us, he's $12 million a year, just slightly under what the Warriors' apron is. And Adrian Wojnarowski did break down the trade, saying the Wizards are nearing a deal to send Daniel Gafford to the Dallas Mavericks for Richaun Holmes and a draft compensation. So what would Richaun Holmes bring to the Warriors? Well, 3.4 points per game, 3.4 rebounds per game, about a half a block a game, which isn't terrible, 55% from the field, which is pretty good, but overall, nothing crazy. The reason why you bring Holmes to the Warriors, he provides size. That's about it. Warriors fans, you want a true big? Well, this is one of the better true bigs you're going to be able to get on the buyout market right now for under $12 million, which is once again why I'm not really understanding why Mike Dunleavy only traded Cory Joseph for a second-round draft pick. Whereas you knew you were going to hit that salary tax ape and did not be able to get anybody over $12 million, and now you're stuck with 4 players that can help the Warriors, but not that much. And we're back to square one. So, overall, do you think it's even worth the Warriors to make any moves in the buyout market right now? These players can provide something for the Warriors they do not have, which is a good thing. But overall, this used to be a championship-level contending team. The way they've been playing this season, they're sitting at 12th, 11th in the Western Conference. They need a big shift, not little ones. That's just my opinion. Go on ahead and answer with yours. Type Y for yes, type N for no. And while you guys are there, go on ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. The buyout candidacy is just now starting. Free agency is starting. The trade deadline has passed, but Warriors news must go on. Go on ahead and subscribe to Warriors Today by Chat Sports.